Prologue. After Omar's testimony, Bird is found guilty. McNulty, we go back to McNulty asking Omar if he was actually there. Mm-hmm. Now, Omar could have been there. Probably wasn't.
I don't think he was.
Omar could have been there. But Omar kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, Omar broke the street code by showing up to court. You a gangster.
But I think Omar.
You showing up doing this to another gangster. That's snitching, bro.
It is, but I feel like it seemed like Omar moved by his own code.
He does. That's one thing I can agree on. I can agree with that. But it feels like they never made his character seem like the type of character that would do that.
Yeah.
So this kind of came out of nowhere. You've been a solid murderer killer all this time.
And
now you a snitch.
I think the only reason he did that is because Bird killed his boyfriend. Brandon, whatever it was, when they got him out the pool hall.
Right.
So I think that's why Omar did that. He was trying to get Bird back for killing Brandon. Yep.
Which I'm assuming that means he really must have really loved Brandon.
He did.
For him to go, that far for him.
That's how Stringer was able to get Omar to go after Brother Mouzon.
Correct.
Because he was saying that Brother Mouzon was the one that got Brandon.
Yeah. Everybody played Brandon's death against Omar because they knew how the sensitivity to that. And they all understood, we can use that to get him to do what we want him to do. And Omar wasn't even realizing he was getting played off of Brandon's death. They was playing him.
Yeah.
They was playing him big time. And he just he never even realized it.
Until he had that conversation with Brother Mouzon after he got him.
Yes. Brother Mouzon is a stand-up dude, which lets me know that Omar didn't do his research on Brother Mouzon because even Brother Mouzon, after being shot, was like, that's not my style. So I'm confused of why Omar wouldn't have known that Brother Mouzon don't be burning bodies and taking out eyeballs.
And with the history that they had, I don't understand why Omar took Stringer at his word.
Yeah, it was kind of like, okay, that part right there, I can't really roll with because them being street killers and knowing each other's history, he would have known that's not his style. Yeah. This dude is basically a black Muslim sniper killer, whatever you want to call him. But he not putting cigarette butts in people's eyes.
Right.
That's torture.
Yeah.
He don't do torture.
Yeah.
He just pop you and keep it pushing. Like he did with Cheese.
Yeah.
Pop you and keep it pushing. So I think Omar he definitely drunk the wrong Kool-Aid, but the fact that he drunk the Kool-Aid without even knowing the history kind of confuses me because I would have thought Omar would have known that ain't his style.
Yeah.
And Stringer's style is lying.
Yeah.
Stringer lies to everybody. So he the fact that he fell for it was kind of weird. So now we get to a situation where Cheese doubles what he said Ziggy owed. The 2,700 is now 5,400. And Ziggy and Nick is basically, they can't pay it. They figure that they have to get Cheese to drop it down to what they actually owe.
Yeah.
As opposed to the 5,400, which is Cheese just being petty. Cheese is Prop Joe's nephew. Prop Joe is partners with Sergey, which is hooked up with the Greek. So Prop Joe got plugged through Sergey. So they get Sergey to go run up on Cheese, and Sergey pretty much puts the pistol to Cheese and threatens him. Sergey jumps back in the car. Nick and him is in the back and says, it's back to 2,700. Y'all are not 2,700. He's going to pay you.
Yes.
For your car that he burnt up.
Yeah.
Sergey pretty much pushed the smash.
Yeah. So he told Nick, he was like, him, we don't know. The man he calls boss, we know.
We know. Because Cheese, being the asshole that he was, burnt up Ziggy's car. Yeah. Which was worth $5,000. I think Nick said it was worth $5,000 or something like that. So they kind of did the math and was like, no. So now since you burnt up his car, you owe. Prop Joe came out of pocket, paid him, and was like, Cheese ain't gonna be too happy that he gonna owe me for this car. So y'all best stay away from him. Right. He told me y'all best stay away from him. But it was good to see that Prop Joe honored the debt of his nephew, because he could have been like, that ain't my problem. That's Cheese's problem. but he honored it.
But that's them Greeks though.
That's them Greeks. He honored it because he had to.
He didn't want to mess with that product.
Right. So he did good by that. And that just goes to show you that in the street world, connections is the only thing that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Your survival, your income, your finance, all that comes down to connections. You got the wrong connection, you end up on the bad side. Like Ziggy was on the bad side of that had he not known who he known.
Right.
He was going to be on the bad side. Because matter of fact, Cheese gave him 1 extra week.
Yeah.
He said, we're going to kill you. You owe us 54, but I'm going to give you 1 more week to pay double the money.
Right.
So Ziggy would have been in a bad. That's why I said it'd have been nice if the writers would have figured out a way to explain why the car meant so much that he just wouldn't just sell the car. Right. That was a simple answer to the whole Cheese incident.
Well, he even tried to give Cheese that jacket.
He tried to get the cheap jacket.
$2,000 leather jacket.
The pleather. Russell and Bunk find out that Horseface is the checker who basically is doing all the dirt.
Disappearing the
cans and stuff like that. Horseface is basically the flunky he is the friend of Frank Sabat.
That's his right hand.
That's his right hand man. But he's still like more of a follower. Yeah. He don't call no shots.
He's a yes man.
He's just a yes man. He will follow Frank into hell. If Frank said, let's go to hell, he'd follow him into it. So Horseface, even though he's involved in the crimes, he ain't really calling those shots when it comes to the crime. Right. So I think that's what kind of gives him a little bit of immunity throughout this whole series until the very end, which we will get to because they get him in the end. Bunk and Russell, through the computer system, they find out how everything's starting to work. They find out how to track the trailers, track the containers. They kind of figure out how the system is going.
Yeah. So during their investigation, they cloned the computer and just sat there and watched everything. So when they saw the cans start disappearing, they knew exactly what was going on.
Right. I forgot who said it, but somebody said that everything is traceable. And that's how they kind of figured like they can go backwards, forwards, whatever. They can figure out who was the checker on what day. Because at first they didn't know whether they could trace any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And somebody had told them like, no, everything is saved in the computer. Everything is saved.
I think that might have been Lester.
Was it Lester?
I think so.
Yeah, but it was told to them that, no, everything is saved in the computer. Because at first they didn't know how they were going to find out who had anything to do with anything. But it comes to find out that Horseface has a lot to do with stuff disappearing. But his orders are coming from Frank.
Yeah.
It's not Horseface just doing it because he want to do it. Or, honestly, correct me if I'm wrong, unless they said it somewhere in the story, Horseface didn't get nothing out of none of this stuff. Did you see Horseface get anything out of this? I don't remember Frank giving him no envelopes.
No.
Or am I tripping?
No, I don't remember seeing him getting that.
Frank didn't break off Horseface nothing.
I'm sure he was.